Hello everyone, bringing you part 2 of Daks Over Duxford today. Originally this was just going to be 2 parts, this was going to be the second and final part, but there is now a part 3. I reviewed the amount of footage I took and realised it's probably wise to split it into 3 separate videos for ease of digestion. As usual, I've put a pinned comment down below which links to obviously timestamps for various parts of the video should you wish to see a specific part. I think I've managed to title those fairly informatively. So without further ado, on with the video.
They'd obviously seen one of these, swapped the engine out, because that's 125cc. So what we have here, this is a 1943 Royal Enfield Flying Flea. This one we believe to have been dropped on D-Day itself. It carries the markings of the 195th Parachute Field Ambulance, which are then overpainted with an Armoured Division marking. So they did drop in on D-Day, and then we believe it's been just sat in a shed somewhere in northern France. It's in its parachute container. This is how it was dropped on its side from a Dakota, slung up under the wing. When the parachute opens, down it goes. The petrol cap has a sealable breather on it, because when it's under the wing of a Dakota, it's on its side, so you don't want petrol floating around. And then you've got the handlebar quick release, so you turn that and it turns in line with the frame. So do the footrests, and so does the kickstart, and then it can be easily pushed into the parachute frame.
It doesn't fold a lot, but it folds enough.
Just enough.
Just enough to get underneath. Fascinating. And what capacity is the engine?
It's a 125cc.
125.
Yeah. In 1936, the Germans were making a bike called the DKW RT98, and they were selling it happily in Holland through a Dutch importing firm. And then in 1939, the Germans found out that this firm was owned by Jews, and so stopped selling them to them completely. The Dutch firm was furious, so they came across to Royal Enfield, handed them one of these DKW bikes and said, copy that for us. And they carbon copied it, down to the rubber band suspension, and even the early ones had the right-hand foot brake that the European bikes do. The war came around, it all got forgotten about, and then a couple of years later, Royal Enfield were told they need something for throwing out of aircraft. The Airborne forces have started, and the rest is history, really. We'll move on to some of the airborne medical kit that we've got with us. On the table, this is one medical officer's equipment he would have dropped with. You've got different parts of it do different jobs. So you've got the bandage sections, the pain-killing sections, obviously morphine, and the surgical sections. And then at the far end there, you've got the chloroform for the anaesthetic. It's all very well sort of thought through so that it's accessible and can be got at very quickly.
So obviously various items here carried in the smock.
Yep.
And then you'd carry sort of your surgical equipment and stuff within the pouches? Or
yeah, so as you can see, it's mostly the same kind of kit as a fighting man would carry, but instead of ammunition in your ammo pouches, you've got bandages and painkillers.
I was going to say, the web equipment is basically that of a rifleman with the addition of the pistol.
Absolutely, yeah. And the pistol, of course, medics were armed, but under the rules of the Geneva Convention, it wasn't for personal protection. It was for the casualties' protection.
Yes.
If you, as a doctor, felt that your casualties were at risk, you could draw the weapon and use it for protection of them, and them alone.
Yes. Very interesting.
There you go.
The real army here, outside. Jackal. Got marksman and sniping weapons here. And L85, A3, I think we're on now. Just the web equipment here. So here we have David Reed, and he's very kindly going to run us through a bit of the history of this section of Horsa glider fuselage.
How this originated, this discovery, was I met Jim Kilbride, a Serbian paratrooper at Normandy at St Mary Glees a number of years ago. And he'd been looking to get in touch with us for some time because he wanted to gift us a few bits and pieces for our small airborne collection as we had at the time. And he just starts collecting stuff, Jim, and he discovered this section of Horsa fuselage in a farm in Wales that had been used as a caravan. It had two wheels and an axle, a drawbar, leaded windows, kitchen sink, hooker, everything in it.
We can see here, this is what it looked like when it was a caravan. You can see they put windows in the end, leaded windows, and enlarged the windows in the side.
And the wheels on it.
And put wheels, as you say, the tow bar at the other end. It seems to be actually hooked up to a car there, I think, in the top photo.
Bring the car. I'm quite annoyed about that. It's a classic Capri.
Yeah.
Hadn't been used for many years. He approached the farmers and they very kindly donated it. And it was going to go to the Salt Glider Trust, but there really wasn't much on it that they needed. So eventually we got it. Jim recovered it to Colchester on an army truck, then up to Dumfries, and our guys restored it. And the year after that, once it was finished, they took it to Arnhem on a trailer where it was paraded through the streets of Arnhem with some veterans sitting in the back. So probably the only Horsa glider that's ever went to Arnhem and returned. We've found a little bit more history. Couldn't just quite understand how it was in this farm. It was quite a bit away from Shawbury where they used them a lot, but we think it probably made a forced landing on the farmer's land, and they came, took the important bits like wheels and usable spares from it, instrumentation and things like that, and the farmer had shooters, do what you like with it. So they made it into caravan, chicken sheds, roofs for buildings, all kinds of useful things. At the end of the war, timber was in a great short supply, so most of it would rot away over the years, but this bit, because it had a piece of metal put over the top of it to make it more waterproof and stop it from rotting, lasted quite some time.
Yeah.
So that's how we got it, and we brought it down here for the event here at Duxford, and really proud to do it because it's had a lot of attention, and we've even had offers of spares.
Yes, and this is normally at the Dumfries and Galloway
Usually at Dumfries and Galloway Aviation Museum. We have built a new Airborne Forces building, which is not quite as big as the space they have here, but we have a complete Waco glider in there. We have this section of Horsa. We've got a Hotspur cockpit, which we think is the only genuine one anywhere, and we've built a replica Hamilcar nose section, which will be the entrance into the building. You'll actually walk through the fuselage.
So definitely somewhere worth visiting if you're interested in airborne forces.
The Airborne Forces display will be fully open hopefully next year, but we're having a little taster in August to let the people who supported us see how far we've got. We slipped up with funding, but we just told them, if you don't give us the money, we'll do it anyway.
Yes.
But just take a bit longer.
Yeah, excellent.
We do all the buildings ourselves. The concreting, the only thing we contract out is the electrics. And it's housed in what they call a Romney shed. It's a big Nissan, about 35 feet across by 70 feet long. And the Waco fits inside that comfortably, not with the wings on, unfortunately.
No. Fuselage. Excellent, thank you very much indeed.
No bother.
I'll just take a bit of... So here we have Craig's 75mm pack howitzer, M1A1 on carriage M8. Originally designed to break down into 9 individual parts for carriage by mule. These were also airdropped, parachuted in by American Airborne, but the British transported them by glider. A little bit easier in that regard, transporting it in one piece. And this is a British gun. It has some modifications to it. We've got at the front here, we've got clamps on the axle. Stand underneath the barrel there, as you can see, the front here, and the box here at the back has been moved from its original position to a position on the trail here, and various brackets and so forth have been added onto the side for the aiming spikes and so forth. So, and also the towing eye has been modified as well. So that's it. 75mm pack howitzer M1A1.
Bracing that actually clamps down the axle and it protects the elevation. So the sprockets from the front there protect the axle from landing out. You actually straight their side spots from here. The trouble is that will come off. So we strapped on full save. Added all the brackets to the aim post, because if you're parachuting them, you don't want all these things to come out because they get bent. So with it coming in this glider, we actually put the aiming posts and spikes on the end, and we've modified the toe line.
It's just such a big thing. Obviously,
No, it's fine. You're more welcome to take photographs, have a look, and
unspooded bomb thing set up. With bombs on the blitz samples that have fallen. You find a back with everything.
that's what it's there for.
So you've got obviously your hygiene items there, you've got your wash kit, your towel. This we'll talk about a little bit more at the far end because we've got a better representation of the rations that you're carrying. So that's your rations. And then you've got your sort of spare clothing there, that's literally all they have, kit cap. Underneath that, and then a spare pair of socks. And this is to keep you going. And it's all packed in this equipment here. So I've got this set up, this is my equipment here. You've got your haversack, which contains this load here. It's the ammunition, your two basic guns in the front. Everyone carries ammunition for a gun like machine gun. 30 round magazine, fully loaded with 28, otherwise it's intended to jam. And then you've got rifle ammunition in the back leg, very similar to how and then lots of fragmentation grenades. And that's sort of standard.
So that's your standard infantry rifle, accurate up to about 1200 yards.
So 1200?
1200 yards.
Oh wow.
It's accurate to 1200. You've got your battle sight there, which is just going to go through. You've got heavy sight as well.
Oh, I see.
Very good, very accurate.
That's awesome.
That's pretty meaty one.
Pretty meaty,
Suggest you hold that in there.
yeah, there you go.
That might save your fingers.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Accurate up to probably
There you go,
about
Abby.
150 yards. That's it. Perfect.
So that was part 2 of Daks Over Duxford. Part 3 will be coming soon. If you'd like to catch that, a good way of doing so would be to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification button if you'd like to see part 3. And if you'd like to see my future uploads in general, if you find this sort of thing interesting, obviously. There's also a Facebook and an Instagram page where I posted some photos from the event, and where, of course, I'll be posting photos from upcoming reenacting events and so forth. So it's a good place to keep up as well, or on Instagram or Facebook. Facebook's also a good place to get in touch with me if you wish to drop me a message, because YouTube's own messenger system is pretty terrible. So yeah, check out those as well if you're interested. That's everything I wanted to cover in this video. So until part 3, bye for now.